All right, how's it going, HuntStand? I just pulled into a brand new piece of property that I got permission to turkey hunt this spring. I'm excited about it. I've heard there's some birds in the area. I've drove by this place many times in the past and seen turkeys, and I'm really excited that I got permission to hunt in here. This place that I got, it's about 60 acres, and I've actually got it pulled up on my HuntStand app here. And while I'm sitting here in the truck as I'm just pulled up, kind of assessing the ground, what it looks like, what food is planted in here and stuff like that. I'm just doing a little scouting because I want to try to figure out where to put 2 or 3 trail cameras on this place so that I don't have to be in here messing around very much, because turkey season is actually open. It's March 26th today, and turkey season has been open for 2 days. Today is the second day, but you would never know that it's turkey season when it comes to the weather, because yesterday we had blizzard conditions, literally 40+ mile-an-hour winds, and when I woke up this morning, we had 3 inches of snow on the ground. Now right now it's in the mid-30s and the sun's out, so a lot of that snow is melting off, but it's still pretty windy, and I wanted to use this opportunity with the weather to get in here now, get these trail cameras up, and get out of here, because if there is turkeys in here, I don't want to be running them off and potentially pushing them onto the neighbors, so then I wouldn't be able to hunt them. But right now I'm looking at HuntStand, and I'll bring this up here for you, and I've established 2 areas for sure that I want to put trail cameras. And the reason is I've basically found over here on the neighboring ground. So this little 60-acre piece of mine, I don't think is going to hold turkeys as far as roosting. I think they're going to be roosting on the neighboring ground. And really what I'm looking for on the app is potential roost areas, potential feeding areas, and what I like to call like strut zones, places where the turkeys are going to probably spend the day. So like maybe pastures, maybe a meadow in the timber, things like that. And right away, I found a meadow in the timber on the neighboring ground, and the neighboring ground has the biggest pocket of timber. So I'm assuming if there's turkeys in here, that's where they're roosting, maybe somewhere around that meadow. They're probably flying down into that meadow. And then hopefully, I just noticed as I pulled in here, I've got corn, which would have been planted last year in my field here, and the farmer actually drilled winter wheat into that. So I've got really good food, but over here on the neighbors, it's just stubble. So there's really no food on the neighboring ground, but they do have the roosting timber, but I have the food. So what I'm hoping is these birds are roosting on the neighbors, and they're coming over here into my field to feed, and then there's a creek with a bunch of pasture land up here, kind of to the northeast, where I'm assuming these birds are probably going during the day to spend their time. So that's kind of what I've established here going off of HuntStand. So let's get out of the truck, let's get down in here. I've got a couple muddy cameras, let's get them hung up, and I'll kind of explain why I'm putting them in the location that I am when we get down here. And hopefully we can get some pictures, and the next few days, we've got some good weather coming. Maybe we can get down in here and get a turkey down with the Matthews. All right, looks like we've got good signal here, so that is good. I just got this first camera set up here, guys. I've got it on a pivot stop here. There's actually an agricultural pivot here that waters this cornfield, and this little pivot stop here was the perfect location for this camera. And why I picked right here is I established on HuntStand that there's a meadow back in here in this big block of timber on the neighboring ground. And this is the biggest block of timber anywhere on this river for a very long ways. So if there's turkeys in here, I'm assuming they're probably roosted in this big block of timber. And when I saw that meadow on HuntStand, I have a meadow very similar to that on my home farm in Nebraska. And those birds love to roost around that meadow. They love to fly down into that open area in the morning and start strutting around and doing their thing before they head out into the agricultural fields. So I'm hoping they're kind of doing the same thing here on this property. If so, obviously I can't put the camera on the neighboring ground, but if so, hopefully with this camera, I'm gonna get their picture coming out into this field. Now, why I picked this location on the field is there's kind of a cove back in here, kind of a U shape where the field comes to a point, and it's the closest place to where I think they're roosting. So I'm assuming they're coming out into this agriculture field, this cornfield, this winter wheat field, right here into this corner, And I have this camera on this side, on the west side of this cove, and I'm gonna put another one over here on kind of the southeast side of this cove. So let's head on over there. We'll get a camera over there as well. And that way I'm covering both sides of this cove. If they come down this side of this timber line, I'm gonna get their picture here. If they come on that side, on that timber line, I'm gonna get their picture over there. So let's head over there and get another muddy camera up on a tree, or hopefully something over there. All right, guys, it looks like we have good signal here on this camera as well. I'm gonna make this quick because I'm froze to death, man. The wind has started to pick up here and it is cold. Does not feel like turkey season, that is for sure. But I'm hoping these cameras are going to let me know exactly what's going on. But first of all, guys, few things. E-scouting is so important in so many ways. All I wanted to do today was get a couple cameras up. I pulled into the gate, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pull up HuntStand and I'm gonna see if I can figure out exactly where I want these cameras before I even get in here and start looking around. It's the second day of turkey season. I don't wanna be walking all over the place in here and potentially spooking turkeys that are in here. Right away, when I pulled up HuntStand, I established that the neighboring property had the biggest block of timber on this river system for a very long ways. So I assumed if there is turkeys in the area, that's where they're going to be, that's where they're going to be roosting. Then I noticed there's a big meadow back there, and if there's one thing I know, turkeys love meadows like that, especially because I have one just like it on my home farm in a big block of timber, and those birds love to roost around that meadow. They love to fly down into that opening, do a lot of strutting, and spend their morning in there before they head out into the agriculture fields. Then I noticed that the field that I have permission to hunt narrows down and comes to a point in this cove right close to that meadow and this big block of timber on the neighbors. So kind of everything just pointed to this little cove, this little corner down here in this field. And I thought, man, if I can get a camera on each side of this cove, if they are roosting back in there and coming through this cove to come out into my field, I'm gonna know what time, and I'm gonna know probably how deep those turkeys are in the woods. If I'm gonna get pictures right here on this camera or that one early in the morning, I know these birds are roosted close. And I can come in here, try to locate one in the morning by maybe doing a hoot owl call. Same in the evening. If I'm wanting to hunt the next morning, I can slip in here in the evening, try to locate one of these birds, getting pinpointed, slip in here the next morning, and hopefully have a good opportunity. I'm also going to know if these birds are roosting maybe deeper in there. Maybe they're not getting to this field until after lunch or late morning. Then I know it's probably not worth my time getting in here right away in the morning. Maybe I need to hunt here in the evening or afternoon time. So these cameras are just gonna tell me exactly what's going on, and the e-scouting told me exactly where to put these cameras. So I'm excited, guys. I did see a couple tracks in the snow on my way in. That gets me excited. But I'm froze to death, guys. I'm gonna get back to the truck. I'm gonna turn the heater on and get warmed up. But I hope you guys enjoyed this here. I hope you guys learned something. Get out there, guys. Do your e-scouting. Figure out where you wanna be. Get your cameras out. And hopefully, these guys right here will help you be successful at putting a gobbler down and in the back of your truck this spring. God bless, guys. We'll see you in the next one.